What's up? I'm Troubleshoot. Minecraft Chase the Skies or 1.21.6 is out, and in this quick video I'll be showing you how to set up your own Fabric server so you can get modding and playing with your friends right away. That being said, if you want to skip the hassle, check out this video's sponsor, Apex Hosting. Using the first link down below, you'll get yourself straight to a fantastic Minecraft server host with super low latency, fantastic customer support, powerful DDoS protection, automated backups, and so much more. Then check the top right corner for the current coupon code. Right now it's Chase the Skies, and this gets you 35% off your first invoice. Choose Get Started, then select Java, Bedrock, or any other game for that matter. Order now, and in no time, you'll have your own powerful Minecraft server ready to play with your friends. A huge shout out to Apex Hosting for sponsoring this guide. So without further ado, setting up your own Fabric server, hosting it from your PC, and allowing your friends to join. We'll start off at the very top. Head across to the next link down below where you can download the Fabric MC server. Simply choose Minecraft 1.21.6 from the first dropdown and then choose executable server.jar. Just like that, we've now got the actual server file downloaded. Next up, a place to keep it. I'll make a new folder on my desktop called Fabric 1.21.6. Inside of here, I'll then place the jar file we just downloaded, and we'll then need to look back at the Fabric page, and we'll find right here, launch command. Simply copy this command by clicking here, right-clicking and choosing copy. We'll then need to right-click in the same folder as our jar, new, and create a new text document. We'll select everything including .text, and we'll call it start.bat. Doesn't matter what you call it, as long as it ends with .bat instead of .text. Choose yes, and then the file type should have changed. If you don't see .txt, make sure to head to View followed by Show, and make sure file name extensions and hidden items are both ticked. On Windows 10, you'll see on the ribbon bar at the very top, View followed by two checkboxes somewhere on the far right. Then we'll right-click Server or start.bat, and we'll paste this command in here. Save this file, and now you're able to launch it to start your server. But I would recommend one thing, and that's changing the amount of RAM your server has access to. By default, it has a maximum XMX of 2G or 2 GB. Use Control, Shift, and Escape all at once to bring up the Windows Task Manager. Head across to the Performance tab on the side or the top, and under Memory, you'll see the total amount of RAM in your system, how much is used, and how much is available. What we want to do is give Minecraft quite a bit, but not everything that's currently available. We want to leave some left over for our browser, Discord, and things like that. If you're going to be playing Minecraft on the same PC as hosting, make sure you have enough RAM available and distribute it evenly between the game and your server, or more to the server. To make it simple, let's say we have 16 gigs of RAM and 6 is currently in use. That leaves us with 10. While playing Minecraft, I've set it to a maximum of 4. That leaves us with 6 available. Again, I won't use everything that's here, so let's subtract 1 from that, leaving us with 5. All we need to do now is change 2G to 5G. Save it, and just like that, our server should now have 5 GB of RAM when we launch it. We'll run start.bat just by double-clicking, and you should see something like this where it starts to download the files. If not, and instead you see some kind of Java error, something like this, simply head across to the Java download website. You'll find this, which is the text version of this guide, obviously updated, in the description down below. From the Java downloads website, make sure you have JDK24 selected, then Windows, and choose the x64 installer. Download and install this, and shortly after, Minecraft should be running happily. Now, you'll also notice that once your server has finished loading, it doesn't actually start, instead it just quits. If you'd like to keep the window open, which I would recommend, so you can catch crashes, all you need to do is open the text file once more, and on the next line add pause, save, and close this. The reason that it closed the first time round is that we need to accept the EULA. Open EULA.txt and change EULA equals false to EULA equals true. Save this file and close it. Now, the next time we launch server.bat, our server will start. Check out server.properties, where we can do things like allow flight, change the default game mode, level seed, change the server's name, and so much more. For me, I'm fine with the defaults, so I'll launch start.bat and our actual server should start up. Fantastic. I'll open the Minecraft launcher and fire up Fabric 1.21.6 so we can join our server. I'll head across to multiplayer and we'll add a new server here where the server address will either be localhost or 127.0.0.1 to connect to the same computer you're hosting the server on. I'll choose done, and just like that, our server is now on the list. We can join it, and you can see we joined it in the background. Fantastic. To give yourself admin or op, tab into the console and type in op space your username, in my case, Techno. Then you can use commands like game mode creative and fly around, spawn items, etc. But what about mods? Well, that's simple enough. Inside of your server folder, you'll find a mods folder here where we can drop different mods. I'd recommend saving and closing your server before modifying this folder, so I'll type /save-all, which will save everything, and then we'll type /stop to gently bring our server to a close. Press any key, and now our server's off. I'd recommend using Modrinth to download mods. Simply choose Discover Mods, next link down below, and here we can download some mods for Minecraft 1.21.6. Selecting it on the side filters it to just that. Then we can scroll down. I'll choose Fabric from the Loader section, and now we're only getting 1.21.6 Fabric mods. Great. Just a quick note, a lot of these mods are client-side only, like, for example, shaders. Some of them are server-side only, and some of them are both. You can use the Environment option down here to set it to server only. Now we can see which mods are compatible with our server. Let's download something simple like, for example, Ferrite Core for better memory usage optimization and Lithium for better lighting optimizations, making our server run a little bit better. To run any mods, you'll also need to install the Fabric API. You'll find a link to this down below too. Simply head across to all of these mods individually, choose Download in the top right, then from the game version select 1.21.6, choose Fabric and Download. So once more, I'll do this for Lithium and most importantly for the Fabric API. Download 1.21.6 download. And now we'll move all of these from our downloads folder into the mods folder here. And just like that, we've now modded our server. We can head back, relaunch our server, and things should work fine. We can then rejoin, and we're now playing on our own modded server, although it's currently just us. How do we play with other people? Well, there's a few steps that we need to tackle first before we can play with other people, especially over the internet. First of all, the Windows firewall, and second of all, port forwarding so people outside of our local network connection, i.e. the same house as us, can connect and play. There's a few ways around this, although port forwarding is the most robust and reliable way. So, to start off, I'll close the game, and we can leave our server running. It doesn't really matter. In the description down below, you'll find the text version of this guide, obviously updated once I create it. Scroll down until you see this colorful section, which is the port forwarding options. Simply at this PowerShell section, choose the copy button on the far right, and then we'll be running these commands in a PowerShell window. This just opens up port 25565 for both TCP and UDP, allowing people on the same internet connection or after port forwarding outside of our house to connect to our Minecraft server. Hit start and type in PowerShell, then right-click and run as admin. Now, inside of this window that popped up, right-click to paste and hit enter a few times to make sure that all of these commands ran properly. Just like that, we've now allowed Minecraft through our firewall, and people sitting next to us should be able to connect to the server. If someone's connected to the same router as you, they can use your computer's IP to connect to your server. To find that, type in ipconfig, one word, and hit enter. This will return a bunch of ways that you're connected to different networks. Simply scroll up to find the way that you're connected to your internet, and in my case, it's Ethernet. The IPv4 address is your local IP of your computer. In my case, it's 192.168.1.51. Someone sitting next to me can take this address and connect to it in their Minecraft client. Fantastic. However, for people over the internet to connect to our server, we'll need to do something a bit more confusing, and that's port forwarding. But don't worry, it's super simple. With this number in mind, simply head across to your router's admin page where we can port forward. If you don't know what that is, usually it'll be the default gateway. So 192.168.1.1 in my case. Obviously, all routers are incredibly different, so I've created a simple breakdown here. Basically, you'll be heading across to the port forwarding, game forwarding, application forwarding, something along those lines section where we can port forward. In here, you'll be asked for external and internal ports, in or out, something along those lines, and in all of these, we'll be entering the port 25565. Minecraft's port. If you're forced to enter a range, like I am, I'll say 25565 to 25565. 5565. Then for the internal ports, it's the same number. Then for the protocol, make sure to choose TCP and UDP, otherwise do it once for TCP and again for UDP. Finally, when you're asked for your local IP, simply punch in the number we saw earlier that you got by using the ipconfig command. In my case, it was 192.168.1.51. As I only need to enter the last few numbers here, I'll enter 51 and choose add. Just like that, we've now port forwarded Minecraft successfully. It's that simple. You can then connect to your server and play with your friends. Just a quick note, if you're struggling with port forwarding, there may be things stopping it. For example, a third-party antivirus or firewall, which you'll need to allow port 25565 through, or in the worst case, your ISP may be blocking you from port forwarding at all, in which case a simple phone call should usually get them to open it up, usually for free, and you can get to hosting your server for free off your own system right away. Again, if you'd like to skip the hassle, make sure to check out Apex Hosting in the description down below for a super simple, hassle-free server setup that you don't need to leave your PC on all the time for. Thank you all for watching. Mine has been Troubleshoot, and if you'd like to see any other 1.21.6 content, you'll find it all linked down below. I'll see you all next time. Ciao.